Poet got a deal from this agency. They want to license his song and make him the face of their campaign. He's excited, but Tiro saw him during a meeting and called him to the office to give him another written warning, saying that this is the last one. If he does it again, he's done, he's fired. Poet was like, you know what, I'm fed up. You know what, I quit. You can save all your energy. Get some, I quit. And then Tiro is not happy for it. Dala backed up on the idea. His plan failed. And then he goes to talk to his lawyer, convincing her to try and get him information to use against Dala. She agrees to sort of contact the police and use her contacts. After Tiro manipulated her, you must give Tiro his flowers. He manipulated a whole attorney. And then Tiro comes across information that is very useful to him. Mdala and Taps arguing about Mdala insisting that he's going to continue to remove the supermarket, but Tapela does not agree with him. And then they let on Uguti Mdala used blood money while Tapela used Daddy's money. And then Dira takes this video and shows it to Semi-Day. Semi-Day is not happy. And then now, at least he's going to know that Mdala wants him out and is definitely going to fight back. Mtunzi is back. He's given the same room that Dambisa died in. And he goes in there and still sees snippets of Dambisa, like hallucinating sort of. And he decides because he's going to talk to Kasa. Also Kasa, begging him to at least speak to the people at Tembeni, saying that Dambisa wanted him to apologize and make amends. But Nhloso is like, well, I need to leave here because if people see you here, they're going to kill you. And then they show us the celebration of the 5,000 episodes. Nhloso meets up with the partners at Tembezi to tell them that Mtunzi is back and he wants to ask for forgiveness, saying that his mother is haunting him. Semi-Day is like, please make sure that he doesn't come anywhere near Etembeni. Taps is worried that he might come for Vuvu and Toriso. And Dala wants to know who repila this guy, Utula guy, so that he probably wants to go finish off what he has started. Madlama is organized a prayer session for Ulihle. She says that Ulihle says she doesn't want counseling, but she thinks a prayer session will do. But Ulihle doesn't think that a prayer will help with everything that has happened with Libone. And then Tunzi shows up kwa Madlomo, saying that he's come to ask for forgiveness. Madlomo kicks him out, saying he can't be there, ahambe. And then abantu benkonzo, they arrive, pushing Tunzi inside the house. He ends up joining the session here, a prayer session Galihle. The pastor prays for Lihle, and then when he finishes, he says that there's someone amongst them who has a dark cloud on them, and this person must come forward. Tunzi ends up kneeling in front of the pastor. And the pastor starts praying for Mtunzi, saying that Mtunzi is followed by a dark shadow of a deceased person, and that he needs to take him to the river to cleanse him. And then Mtunzi akasakali acting as if Nawe surrender vele is accepting this healing that the pastor is bestowing upon him. And then Dala tells Tlogge that he lied to the partner, saying that he's leaving this Etombeni thing only to get them to leave his back, but he's actually continuing because he's doing it for them. Utlogge agrees to stand by him and support him. Tiro talks to Tapelo, trying to find out what's really happening between him and Mdala regarding this supermarket thingy, and says that he's relieved that now it's sorted because Semi-Day Nehayake was not good for him. Tapelo is shocked with how, since when are you concerning of Semi-Day? Semi-Day is my dad, must have you forgotten. And then Tapelo, they're still at each other about this whole supermarket thingy. Dala keeps lying that he's gonna let it go, gonna let the supermarket stay, but Tapelo can see through him, saying that are you lying to me? And then they end up telling each other, and I regret going to business with you. Tiro tells Semi-Day that he's found something that can get Mdala out of Etembeni for good, and says that they can snitch on him about his the monies that he got, that he used levels and Utulu ways to clean. Semi-Day says he's not a snitch and Pimpi, but Utiro is not going to let this go. And then Ukiriboni finds out about the deal, but Poet quitting his job, and goes off on him, saying that he needs to go back there and ask for his job back. Taurus is like, that job is not giving Poet's vibe. Already vibe are not going to pay for bills. And then they meet up. Toriso and Poet meet up with Ubui. Bui tells them that the deal is worth 2.2 million and then they're buying their rights and they can change their songs and what. Toriso is not happy about that, saying that their lawyers need to look at everything. But Poet is intrigued about this 2.2 million. So Tiro's lawyer found some evidence that there's a Pablo who's in prison that can snitch on Dala. Tiro convinces her to go and talk to her, to this Pablo guy. And then the lawyer goes to talk to Pablo, but Pablo insists that he can only talk if she guarantees him that he will get out, he will walk out scot-free by Christmas. But this woman being an attorney is like, nope, I cannot promise you that. But Tira's like, but why didn't you agree? You should have just told him, you should have lied and told him that you'll get it done, whilst you know that it's not possible. And then the lawyer says, I cannot do that. I'm a defense attorney. I can't go around lying. And then Tiro takes matters into his own hands, dresses up, goes there, pretending to be a prosecutor, calling himself Mzandile Makeba, saying that he works for the prosecution authority, and they are reopening the case, that heist case where Dala and Tlamulo did a heist, and Tlamulo was shot but he got away, and then Dala was arrested. And then Pablo says, I wasn't part of that, but I know some information I can tell you. Only if you've promised me that I'll walk scot-free. Tiro's like, perfect. If you give me information, you'll walk. And then Umtunzi, they after praying for him and all that, he falls free. He goes back to his place. And the pastor says that you need to commit yourself because this is a long journey for you to heal properly. But Umtunzi says, I cannot stay in Joburg. I have to leave. Goes to tell Madlo Maguti, please say my goodbyes to the pastor. I can't stay for long. I need to leave. And then Ubui doesn't want Toriso involved. She says that the campaign only wants Poet. But they insist because they come as a pair. They do, if they have to perform, Toriso is on the desk and they're together. They do everything together. But Ubui is like, either Poet or the deal is off. What are they going to do? 2.2 million rand deal? Turns out Ubui knows Dintle. They meet up. I know Dintle warns her, I know when you like small boys, please stay away from Poet. Poet is married and is young. I tell you, when a poor girl, what Toriso can't see, won't hurt her, making fun of Toriso being blind. So Tiro managed to convince Pablo to snitch on Dala and promise that he will get him protection. And then they planned, so this whole thing will the whole blame will go to Tubbs because it's the only one that was there when the whole house happened, because the other person is dead already, Unhlamulo Masek. So Tiro makes him promise because he mustn't share this whole information with anyone, because obviously he doesn't want Tubbs finding out that he's the one orchestrating this whole thing. And then he talks to his lawyer. His lawyer makes him aware that this is a process, it's going to take time. But he's pushing, saying that he's in danger of going to prison. So the lawyer better push. And then he tells Semi Day that he's got something on Sindane that's going to make him go away permanently. Semi Day is like, how do you manage to get something so fast? And why are you doing this? Because it's not like I was so nice to you in the beginning. And then Semi Day finds out he's not really doing this because he is his father. He's only going to find out later that he's actually doing this whole thing for himself. And then Dala gets a call warning him that the NPA is looking at his old cases and they might reopen the investigation. Tlo is now worried for and then Dala thinks that Tapel is the one that's setting him up, is the one that's framing him, or the one that's feeding them information, because they've been arguing lately. Tapel is shocked with how can he think that of him, because he'd never do it. And then arguments are spiking between Toriso and Poet because of this whole brand deal with Ubui. Toriso thinks it's just 2 million rand. Other opportunities will come. But 2 million rands is a lot of money to Poet, and they're starting to argue and fight about this whole thing. Mama Poet asks what's going on? Talk to your mom. And then he starts explaining. And then Mama writes again, Toriso is a trust fund baby. So you need to wake up and grab opportunities that are coming your way. Tutugo comes back late, drunk as usual. Matlama is there waiting for him, telling him, Tutugo, I'm tired of this whole thing. When are you wasting away your life? You're busy drinking and it's hurting us as your family. And you keep on apologizing, but you keep on doing the same thing. You're doing exactly the same thing that your father did. This was like, how ma, compare kanjani Nhloso? How can you compare me to Nhloso? Phela mina, my drinking does not hurt anyone. Angilimazi muntu ma. Uma wakhe was like, you know what, Tutu, ngicela ukuthi when you wake up tomorrow morning, I want my son back because this one omela phambi kwami angimazi. And then Umthunzi comes to say goodbye to Madlomo, saying that he's going back. Madlomo convinces him, but you need to stay and finish this whole thing so that you can be set free. But Umthunzi says he doesn't have a place to stay anymore because he has let go of his room. Is Madlomo going to take in Umthunzi to come and stay in with them? So Mdala went to prison to visit Pablo to question him about why the police are digging into his past. And Pablo was like, Iena is not a snitch. If you wanted to, you would have done so a long time ago. You must look into his friend Taps or the wife, ya Makazi and Lamul. And then Dada talks to Tloho about this, but Tloho's like, there's no way Taps will sell you out like that. I think you should wait until you have evidence or proof that he's doing it and don't take things hastily. But Mdala decides that he's going to go and confront Bridget, making it clear that he suspects everyone. And Bridget is like, I have no reason to do that to you. Besides, I was not part of you guys at the time. It was Lindiwe. Besides, Tamula was not telling me anything about your heist or your dealings. And then Bridget talks to Taps about this, saying, hey, Mdala suspects us. I know you didn't do that, but Mdala does not believe it. Is the one that needs the convincing. And then Taps goes to Mdala. Mdala is clear set on Hori. Taps is the one that set him out after the argument they had or the disagreements they've been having regarding Etembeni and him wanting to take out the supermarket yesterday day. So he believes that Taps is responsible. Taps is like, no, man, I was just angry when I talk about blood money and all that. I would never do that to you, my brother. But Mdala is sort on saying that he will find the person that's betraying him and he will deal with him. And then Matubela is not happy that Mtunzi is in their church, says that he's not welcome. Madlom is like, just leave the poor man to get healing. He'll leave after. He's not going to stay there permanently. And then Kiriboni tells Kasa, would say, Mtunzi is back and is attending the same church as Madlom, Oli Matubela. And then Kasa calls Klaus and tells him about this. And Klaus is shocked because Madlom hasn't said anything that Mtunzi was at their house and getting prayed for there. So now Umtunzi is worried. Why did Madloma not tell him Umtunzi was in their house? And then Toriso overhears Gidiboni and Matubela talking, poet talking about the deal, and Gidiboni saying that she's not happy that Toriso is privileged and stopping poet from getting opportunities that he's been waiting for and that they've been praying for. Teresa speaks to her mom, but her mom is speaking for a point of privilege and making it seem like 2 million is not a lot of money or it's nothing. But then Teresa realizes once again 2 million is a lot of money to Poet and his family. So she decides, Poet can take the deal and take it because it's a good opportunity for him. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.